has provided a framework within which we are able to enforce safety in workplaces are those that has been put in place and support the labor industry in Uganda. Your Excellency, there is also skilling that in Uganda, the vocational skilling centers, the vocational skilling institutions, both government and private, are supported majority of the informal persons who are employed. When you drive, you will see Ugandans very busy with welding, with furniture, with all sorts of technical issues and entrepreneurship. Those arose out of the policy of skilling for productivity in our employment, the policy for promoting ICT, innovation, robotics has placed Ugandan youth among some of the most top Ugandans and Africans that are doing wonders around the world. On-job skilling through your presidential hubs and others have increased employment opportunity. Under social sector, Your Excellency, we have had grants in the Ministry of Gender, we have grants for the older persons, we have grants for persons with disability. Those support our older persons and persons with disability with financing for entrepreneurship, enabling them to also be productive and get employment. Under labor, productivity and decent work, the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development has initiated several programs. I start with Your Excellency, your directive that we consult widely with the employers on the issue of minimum wage. For that, over the last 1 year after your directive, we have consulted widely, and the workers' representative and the employers who have been here have entered on this matter. Your Excellency, the progress is that the Minimum Wage Advisory Board and Wages Councils have been put in place but structured around sectors, industry, services, and ICT and all the other sectors, and come up with the minimum wage based on their industry. Those have already been constituted, Your Excellency. We now have a cabinet paper for the Minimum Wage Advisory Board composition, and we have already written to the Cabinet Secretariat to give a slot so that Cabinet discusses and approves the board, so that the board will be able to receive the reports from the councils and the committees that are already working. Under this Decent Work Country Program, Your Excellency, we are implementing under the ministry improvement of workplace safety, increasing social security, fund coverage, and promoting social dialogue, because we know that you cannot handle labor issue without dialogue with the workers, with the employers, with those in the private sector. Bill, which is now an Act 2025, that particular act has now supported and given clear provision on how to enforce contracts between the employers and the employees. So implementation of that act, which you have assented to, will go a long way to address casual workers. That has been a big issue, while we also continue to dialogue and enforce and inspect. We have Juakali program. The Juakali program under the Ministry of Justice to businesses, so that you can either expand your businesses, and so far we have given 13,282 equipments benefiting 35,000 people in 199 constituency. We have a program called Apprenticeship, Your Excellency. This is a program that we have been piloting for enabling creation of jobs. There are two components under this program. The first component is work placement, where we negotiate with companies, industries, service providers, and we advertise, and those who apply are placed in those companies to work and gain experience so that they are able to go and start their businesses or expand their businesses. The second one under this apprenticeship program is graduate volunteer scheme. The graduate volunteer scheme is where fresh graduates from the university apply to be placed in companies, in districts, in organizations, and we pay them. We have been piloting this with a few companies, and Your Excellency, the retention of the graduate volunteers where they are volunteered stood at 71%. So that graduate volunteer scheme, we are now expanding it to districts, to be placing graduates to districts, to cities and municipalities. Your Excellency, on externalization of labor, which has been touched on, we have reformed the regulatory framework on licensing the companies. We now require a company externalizing any Ugandan to pay 100 million as a guarantee held by a commercial bank, so that in case you fail to bring back any Ugandan you have externalized, we get that money from the bank to bring those Ugandans back home. And many of the people were opposing this. We stood firm, and Your Excellency, this has increased and strengthened the labor companies being more accountable and ensuring that those who travel abroad are returned, or when there's an issue they resolve it. Unfortunately, many Ugandans travel without passing through the Ministry of Gender and the license companies, and majority of those are the ones who will always have problems. They are trafficked, they move through Nairobi, they go without license company, and in most circumstances when they reach where they have reached, there's nothing the ministry or government can do except to now negotiate through foreign affairs. So those are some of the areas which makes people think that externalization of labor is not working. However, with these reforms, we have been able to handle most of the issues. Your Excellency, I want to conclude by indicating that there are strategic areas that we planned in the Ministry of Gender, issues to do with structural and institutional constraints. The major issue that is curtailing businesses, especially small, medium entrepreneurs, to grow and get people employed, is the issue of high interest rate. And so most of the businesses and enterprises end up collapsing. Companies are formed, they employ people, and they collapse because of high interest rate. We are strengthening labor administration system. We have now operationalized labor advisory board, and we have operationalized medical arbitration board. Medical arbitration board is important because it is the board that assesses those who have been injured at work and can compute for you the compensation required. And most members of parliament, most Ugandans have problems related to issues around compensation. The skill mismatch was indicated by the workers' representative, but we are working on it with partners. Issues around informality and poor working condition, we are increasing inspection, awareness, and we have now recruited labor officers in almost all the districts to ensure that we handle that. And lastly, on social protection, we continue to work to ensure that social protection is honest to protect everybody in Uganda. With that, Your Excellency, I want to thank our partners, the Federation of Uganda Employers, the NOTO and COFTU, for the working relationship that has brought us this far. I want to thank our team, headed by the Permanent Secretary, Agri David Chibenge, for organizing this and always making sure that the ministry runs with all the technical staff. Your Excellency, it will be very unfair for me when you delegated Her Excellency, the President, the Vice President, to stand for you on Women's Day, and she did it very well. And with that, I want to request her to be the one to invite you, Your Excellency, to speak. So, Your Excellency, the Vice President, can you take that honor of inviting the President? Thank you.
Your Excellency, President of the Republic of Uganda, Your Lordship, the Chief Justice, the Right Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, Honorable Ministers present, Excellencies, the members of the diplomatic corps, President of the Republic of Uganda, Your Lordship, the Chief Justice, the Right Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, Ministers present, congratulate Your Excellency on this momentous occasion when we join the rest of the world to celebrate the International Labour Day. Let us thank God for it and clap for God. Your Excellency, I thank the Minister of Gender and her team upon the meticulous and well-organized ceremony here this afternoon. And I thank the Minister of Gender for the invitation. Your Excellency, I thank you for championing the formulation of good policies and laws that promote the welfare of workers, the interests of workers, and indeed the concerns of the employers. Oftentimes, Your Excellency, you have provided a platform for dialogue between employers and employees, which has translated to a very stable private sector and indeed accelerated industrialization in our country, guaranteeing prosperity for our people. I thank Your Excellency for championing the progress of the programs of government, especially those that touch the people that work in all arenas, in the factories, in the offices, in the gardens. You have always given your time to all categories of workers across the country. And Your Excellency, we stand ready to always support you in this endeavor. Finally, Your Excellency, the Honorable Betty Amongi asked me on arrival here that I should make a statement and invite you to speak. It is therefore my singular honor and privilege now, Your Excellency, to invite you to address us and indeed the nation. The floor is yours, sir.
Her Excellency the Vice President, Lordship Chief Justice, Deputy Prime Ministers, all the other leaders, namamuna abakunja. Abakunja mwebale kujja. Biri ebyedde byaggwa oba bikyaliwo? Byaggwa ndeme okweraliikirira. Mbadde neeraliikiriddemu. Katonda yabazibwe. Now Oluganda nbogera bulungi ku makya naye esawa bwezituuka nga zino amanda gaggwamu. N'olwekyo ngenda kukozesa akatogo. The issue, somebody should translate in our language here. The one who knows how to translate. Diana yasobola ntasingwa iruko hinduna. Kati ku kigambo ky'emirimu muwulirize okuwabula kwange. Njagala kubalaga show Nyakana on the screen there. Nyakana, if you have that video. Umanyika kati ebiseera bino nkozesa nnyo film. Nina film zange. Nakawada n'okwogera obwogezi. Kati katulabe emirimu. Nyakana. What's wrong with you? Leave it.
My name is Nyakana Richard from Rwenzururu. This village is called Rwenzururu village in Kalbarole, Fort Portal City. And where we are here is my home and it's my farm. The biggest landlord in this village of Rwenzururu is having 7 acres. People are surviving on quarter an acre, half an acre. 80% of the population here, they are on half an acre, they are on quarter an acre. This farm and this home is seated on 1.25 acre. It is surveyed land. And 1 acre of land here, where we are here, is costing 80 million Uganda shillings. It is very expensive to buy land. Our farm is called Kana Farm. It is having 4 economic activities. Number 1, we are in zero grazing of dairy cows. Number 2, we are in poultry, majorly for layer birds. Number 3, we are in feed processing for livestock. And number 4, manure production. With the poultry, we have 8,500 chicken, and they are in a chick stage, grower, and layer. Those which are laying are giving us 120 trays of eggs, which we are selling at 12,000 shillings per tray, which gives us 1,440,000, and the cost of production is 1,140,000, which gives us a net balance of 300,000 per day as profit. With the feed pressing plant, every day we are processing 1,000 kilos or 1 ton of feeds. We are selling this feed at
Nyakana genda kulwawo okunyonyola naye akolera kuyikeemu n'obutundu bubiri. Alinawo enkoko z'amagi, muwulidde nti buli lunaku afuna amagoba ga 3,000 amagoba amaze okujjako zakozeseza, ekitegeeza nti munaku 10 alina amagoba ga 3,000,000, omwezi 9,000,000 amagoba, omwaka 18,000,000 mu magi. Alina n'ente z'amata, afuna ente z'amata nazo afunamu amagoba. Omwaka gwonna afiisawo 2,000,000 amagoba kuyikeemu. Naye ate akozesa abantu 15 bakolawo ebyemirimu byetwogerako. Akafaama ako kakozesa abantu 15. Uganda erina acres 40 zosobola okulimiramu n'okulundiramu. Kati nakibalamu nti singa tukozesako acres 7,000,000 gokka, si zonna 40, singa tukozesako acres 7,000,000 ku gali 40, nga Nyakana bwakola oba ebirala ebifaanagana ebya Nyakana, acres ezo 7,000,000 zigenda okukozesa abantu 1,15,000,000. Kitegeeza nti tugenda kukola emirimu egisinga obungi bw'abantu mu Uganda yonna. N'olwekyo, so what I'm telling these people is that Nyakana there, using 1.2 acres just for poultry, for eggs and for milk and a few other things, he has got net income of more than 200 million shillings a year, and he's employing 15 people. Uganda has got arable land of 40 million acres. If only 7 million of them were used like Nyakana is doing, and each one employed 15 people, would create 105 million jobs. More jobs than the whole population of Uganda. N'olwekyo ekyetaagisa wano kwe kuzukuka abantu bave mu tulo muwulirize okuwabula. The problem is not job, the problem is being asleep. People are asleep. Eri yonna gye nvudde tolaba, I don't see serious farming. Bamaanyi abakozesa amagezi ngaga Nyakana ono. Therefore, what we need is really to be serious and stop running around. Where you are going, Japan, yes, they have got surplus jobs, which you do when you go there. But Japan is a small country, it's slightly bigger than Uganda. But with no agriculture, no minerals. I think they only use the ocean, they have some sheep, fish, and maybe the manufacturing.
N'okukola ebintu nga bayita mu factories oba mu makolero.
And there are 127 million people.
Bali emiliyoni 127.
And you hear they all have jobs and surplus which you go to do when you go there.
Naye bonna balina emirimu ate ne gifika ffe abaddugavu gye tugenda ne tukola.
So therefore listen carefully to our advice.
Gano ge magezi president gatuwa.
First of all, use the 4 acres model or less. Nyakana doesn't even have 4, he has got only 1.2.
Tukozese ekyokulabirako ekyayiikanya. Nyakana gwe batulaze wano yakozesa ekemu n'obutundu 2.
Now, I can also show you another one, Basangwa. Let's see Basangwa.
Agenda kutulaga omulala Basangwa.
Of Kamuli.
Wekanungu. Wekamuli.
Nze Basangwa Johnson, Managing Director wa Jeka Poultry Farm. Jeka Poultry Farm eyaganibwa Bukwenge, Kamuli Municipality, Kamuli District. Mu 2007 twatandika obulunzi nga tutandikira mu Kamuli Town Council by then mu plot yali 50 feet by 100 feet. There's a foot ya 5 ku 10 eda itaka. Tutandika tutya twali nga tulina ebyobufuzi wano mu Kamuli nga waliwo ensonga nga chairman wero C5 omugenzi Kawuga bamwidukira Katonda mu ekyumulo eky'emirembe nga bamutoyiremu abantu bangi abatamu application nga bali kwenda okufuuka ba chairman ba 5. Aye president yaida yatulungamya yakoba ati bana abantu mwena mwena temusobola kuba ba chairman ba 5. Aye abantu mujje mukola emirimu egindi ng'okulunda yayogera kulunda embidi okulunda enkoko byonna yabyogerako. Nze napikinga mu kyokulunda enkoko n'atandika farm mu 2007 n'enkoko 5. Sawa dino wendogerera ku farm kuno tize mabega ntambwire. President yaida yankyalira mu 2010 nga nina enkoko 5,000 yasanukaini. Sawa dino tutambwire tulina enkoko 2,000 tufulumya amagi etro 2,000 buli lunaku. Etro 2,000 divaamu miliyoni 2 buli lunaku. Omwezi diba miliyoni 6. Omwaka tuba tuli mu biliyoni ze 6 n'ekitundu etuba tukolaki tuingiza. So tuwulirisa omulamwa gwa president okuva ku kiseera ekyo twakati katukigiireko. President abaire musanufu ino ku bintu byenkoze era nga buli kaseera nkyekingako. Wendogerera kati tulina abakozi 300 betukozesa.
Now you can hear Basangwa now.
Muwulidde Basangwa.
When I went there 2000 and Miaka Jagambire, the years he mentioned, they were fighting for the job.
Yagendayo mu 2008 baali balwanira byabufuzi ekifo kya LC5.
Then I said, but you cannot all be LC5.
N'abagamba nti mwenna temusobola kubeera bakiyamaeni ba LC5.
Why don't you do other things?
Lwaki temukola ebirala?
And I told them of the 4 acres model.
Era n'abasomesa ku nkola okukozesa acres 4.
But for him, he took just one activity, the poultry for eggs.
Basangwa ye yatwala kya kulunda nkoko.
And he had no land.
Naye talina ttaka ddene.
He had only something 100 feet by 50 or something like that.
yalina ploti ntono ya futi 5 ku 10.
But he started with that.
N'atandika n'eyo.
Now he's a very rich man now.
Kati musajja mugagga nnyo.
He's selling 2,000 trays of eggs per day.
Atunda tray z'amagi 2,000 olunaku.
And he's earning 20 million shillings a day.
Afuna obukadde 20 olunaku.
That is 600 million shillings a month.
Ze miliyoni 600 omwezi.
7.2 billion a year.
Akawumbi kamu obumbi 7 mu miliyoni 2 omwaka.
And he's employing 300 people now.
Era akozesa abantu 300.
So the problem is not job, the problem is okwebaka.
Ekizibu si mulimu naye tulo.
So muve mukwebaka.
So mulekera okwebaka. Stop sleeping and slumbering.
Now you now come to Oktomera, bumping into things. You come now to Oktomera to bump into things. Chuse bulungi.
Kati kaje kukutereka. Okutomera.
Bumping into things without planning.
Kaje kukugenda mu kintu ky'ogenzeemu naye nga tokimanyi oba tokyekakasa.
Because Among is saying that people start business and they collapse because they borrow money from commercial banks.
Minister w'ebyabakozi agambye nti mugenda ne mwewola ssente ne mukola emirimu nga temugimanyi bulungi ne gigwa.
Bewola ssente z'amagoba g'obusuubuzi.
Mwewola ssente ku magoba amangi banka ze gateeseewo ne mukola bizinensi ne mutomera ne zigwa.
Why do you do that?
Lwaki mukola ekyo?
Because you should be patient. If you don't have, there is money, government money in UDB.
Mubeere bagumiikiriza waliwo ssente gavumenti zeetadde mu banka ey'okwekulaakulanya eya gavumenti.
They give loans at 12%, 10%.
Bawola ku ssente entono ku magoba amatonotono aga ebitundu 12 oba 10 ku 100.
Not the commercial interest you get in commercial banks.
Si ku magoba gali ag'ebyobusuubuzi ge mufuna mu banks eziri endala ez'ebyobusuubuzi.
Then now the government has started very soft money for you in the parish model.
Gavumenti etandiseewo ssente entono ennyingi naye ku muwendo omutono mu parish development model.
We have now put about 500 million shillings in each parish.
Bataddewo obukadde nga 5 mu buli muluka.
In this kisanja which is ending now.
Mu kisanja kino ekiggwako.
If you concentrate on that,
bwe musimba essira ku ekyo,
and make sure it works and you fight all the bad people who are polluting it,
n'olwanyisa abantu bonna abakikuba oba bakirwanyisa,
then you should now be having, because the ones who got first should have started paying back now.
Abaasooka okufuna saawa zino balina okuba nga bazzaayo.
About 300 should have paid back.
Abantu nga 300 balina okuba nga bazzaayo kati.
So you already have 500 million in the parish, new money, plus 300 million recycled.
Mulina miliyoni 300 ez'abali abatandise okuzzaayo ne miliyoni 5 empya ze bongeddemu.
So the parish now has got 800 million shillings.
Kitegeeza kati buli muluka gulina miliyoni 800.
Where the interest is 6%.
Nga amagoba matono ga butundu 6 ku buli 100.
You borrow 1 million, after 2 years you pay back 1 million and 1.12 million.
Weewola akakadde kamu n'oyisaawo emyaka 2 n'osasula akakadde kamu emitwalo 12.
And this kisanja we are going to increase their money to 200 million.
Era ekisanja kino bagenda kwongerako emiliyoni endala 2.
Zigenda kufuuka 2 mu kifo kya 10.
It's going to become 200 instead of 100 million.
So 200 million in 5 years, that's already a billion new money.
Miliyoni 2 mu myaka 5 ziba biliyoni akawumbi kamu.
So listen to what this sente zino zenteeka mu miruka ne mu UDB zigenda kudibya ba money lenders na banki z'abanyunyusi, commercial banks.
The money put in PDM and UDB will phase out the interests, and banks and money lenders who are giving you money at a very high rate.
So don't come here and cry, say, oh, we borrowed money, we have collapsed.
So temujja wano ne mukaaba nti mwewola ssente business zigenda kugwa.
Abanyankole bagamba nti eyeetuze tebamukaabira.
Abanyankole kyekyo kye bagamba. Whoever has hanged himself, you don't mourn for them.
Omuntu eyeetuze okaabira waki?
If someone hangs themselves, why should you mourn them?
So this is the second point.
Eno y'ensonga ey'okubiri.
Now the minister raised, no, the speaker of the workers raised very good points.
Ayogedde ku lw'abakozi awadde ensonga ennungi.
The accommodation for the workers in the industrial parks.
Okuteeka abakozi mu bibangirizi eby'abannamakolero n'okubasuzaayo.
Okuteeka ebisulo ebiteekeddwa mu bibangirizi by'abannamakolero. We are going to make sure that we make it part of our policy that an industrial park, we must get land nearby.
Kigenda kufuuka tteeka oba kyabuwaze nti buli kibangirizi ky'abannamakolero kibeerako ekitundu we kisuza abakozi baakyo.
Maybe not the investor himself, we can get other people to invest in that land provided by the government.
Kiyinza okuba nga bannamakolero si be bataddewo ebisulo naye bajja kufuna abantu abalala bazimbe ebisulo ebyo bikozesebwa abakozi abakola mu bibangirizi ebyo eby'abannamakolero.
We shall get investors to build low-cost houses.
Bagenda kufuna ba musigansimbi bazimbe ennyumba ku ssente ntonotono
nearby
nga ziri kumpi n'ebibangirizi by'abannamakolero
as part of the industrial park development,
nga kimu ku nkulaakulanya ey'ebibangirizi ebyo eby'abannamakolero
on the land provided by the government.
ng'ettaka eryo liweereddwayo gavumenti.
And if we don't get these people, I will get National Housing Corporation to start doing it if we don't get private people to do it.
Era pulezidenti yeeyamye nti bw'aba tafunye bamusigansimbi basobola kuzimba nnyumba ezo yagenda kufuna ekitongole kya National Housing kizimbe ku lwa gavumenti. Engalo ezisingako awo.
Now the other issue
ensonga endala
is are the courses which don't have relevance in the job market.
Kwe kusoma ebintu ebitalina mugaso mu kunoonya emirimu.
Ebitayamba biyinza kuba n'omugaso, oli mugezi omanyi ebiri Bulaaya omanyi ebiriwa.
Biyinza okuba nga bikuyamba mu kumanya naye nga tebikuyamba mu kufuna mulimu.
Naye wano omukatale wano twetaaga ennyaanya.
But here we need tomatoes in the market.
You bring amayuni.
And for you bring yams.
So what do? We don't want yams. We want yams are good, but we don't need them.
Wano tuba twetaaga nnyanja kati gwe bw'oleeta amayuni kiba oba totuyambye kiba tekigasizza bwetaavu buliwo.
I'm very happy. Recently I met some young people.
President musanyufu waliwo abavubuka be yasisinkana.
Recently
ebbanga eritali lyewala.
They have got degrees in Swaswa. You know Swaswa? Bafuna degree mu nsonga z'okusoma eby'abantu enkula y'abantu na biki. And another one in procurement.
Omulala mu kugula ebintu.
Another one in psychology.
Omulala mu kulowooza eby'obwongo eby'okutegeera kinajja oba ky'olowooza.
I asked somebody who had BSc psychology.
n'abuuza oyo eyasoma ebyokutegeera oba okulowooza.
What will you do with the Bachelor of Degree in Psychology?
Nti diguli eyo egenda kuyamba ki ku katale k'ebyemirimu?
I can look at you and know what you are thinking.
Asobola okutunuulira n'amanya ky'olowooza.
Then I said, but how many jobs are there for that?
N'abuuza nti kati mirimu emeka egiriwo ng'otunuulira omuntu n'omanya ky'alowooza.
He said that he can work in prisons.
N'agamba asobola okukola mu makomera.
And see which prison wants to escape.
N'amanya musibe ki ayagala okutoloka.
So then I said, but how many prison jobs are there in Uganda?
N'amubuuza nti mirimu emeka egiri mu makomera egifaanana bwe gityo. He didn't respond.
Now these young people,
abavubuka bano,
they are now in catering.
Kati beenyigidde mu kufumba
and providing services, catering.
Beenyigidde mu kufumba n'okugaba emmere oba okutunda emmere enfumbe.
Because there are a lot of jobs for that.
Kubanga waliwo emirimu mingi mu kisaawe ekyo.
So they forgot the other degrees of procurement, the swaswa.
Ne beerabira diguli zaabwe ziri ze baasoma ez'okugula ebintu, simanyi okulowooza, kutunuulira omuntu n'omanya ky'alowooza.
Now they went back, got a certificate or a diploma, but in catering now.
Ne baddayo ne basomayo certificate oba baluwa etonotono mu kufumba.
And in no time they got jobs.
Era mu kiseera kitono ne bafuna emirimu.
So you are absolutely right that the Minister of Education should really give guidelines. I had told Namirembe Tamazire long ago, I had told her, please.
N'olwekyo ministry ekola ku byenjigiriza yali akigambyeko eyali minisita ebiseera ebyo Namirembe Bitamazire.
Because I could see the explosion of more graduates.
Yali akirabye nti abatikkiddwa bagenda kuba bangi.
Because many years ago,
kubanga ebbanga ddene eriyise, myaka mingi egiyise,
when Amanya Mushega was the Minister of Education,
Amanya Mushega bwe yali minisita w'ebyenjigiriza,
the government was taking, I think, 1,000 children. The children who would sit for A level would get about 11,000 qualifying for entrance into university.
Ebiseera ebyo ng'abantu abaana abatudde ekibiina siniya ey'omukaaga balinga 1,100 abaali bayise esiniya ey'omukaaga nga balinga 1,100.
But the government was paying for only 1,000.
Naye nga gavumenti esobola kusasulirako 1,000 lwokka.
You remember those who are old enough when I said, but why? If they have passed, and the
mujjukira abakuzeemu nti yabuuza nti naye bw'oba oyise,
even if the government cannot pay for you, what if you can pay for yourself?
Ne gavumenti bw'eba tesobola kukusasula kiba kitya nga gwe weesasulidde.
And we introduced self-sponsorship.
Ne baleetawo okwesasulira mu university.
So now you would get now all the 11,000, the ones paid for by the government and the ones paid for by themselves, all coming to university.
Ekyo ne kiyamba abaana bonna 1,100 abayise okugenda ku university nga bamu beesasulira ng'abalala gavumenti ebasasulira.
Now you can check the figures much higher. I have not checked recently. The ones who go each year.
Ebiseera bino kati ennamba eri waggulu nnyo ey'abagenda ku university n'amatendekero aga waggulu.
But then I saw the danger. If you have got so many graduates,
naye n'alaba obuzibu nti bw'olaba abatikkiddwa nga bangi,
but studying these carelessly selected courses,
naye nga mulonze amasomo ago agatakusobozesa kufuna mangu mulimu,
what will happen? So I said the ministry should give guidelines
so n'abuuza nti kiki ekibaawo n'agamba nti ministry erina okuwa okulambika.
But it was not followed up as proper as it should be.
Naye tebaakigoberera bulungi nga bwe bateekeddwa kukigoberera.
But now I'm glad the delegate of the employees raised it. We are really going to take it up.
Nti musanyufu nti akiikiridde abakozesa akyogedde era president agenda kiteeka mu nkola.
But even the children who have already got this swaswa and all those, you can go back for retouring. You just get a certificate or a diploma in.
Naye n'abasomye abatikkiddwa nga batikkiddwamu ezo diguli z'ayogeddeko osobola okuddayo n'ofunayo ebbaluwa entonotono naye nga ekuyamba okufuna omulimu.
There was, it may take time, when during my PDM tour I met many of the young people who had done that.
President bwe yeetoolodde eggwanga lino ng'alambula PDM asanze abantu bangi ab'enjawulo
who have retooled themselves.
Nga bazzeeyo ne basoma ebyo ebibagasa okufuna emirimu.
Now the factories you are talking about, the 5,000,
so amakolero ge mwogerako 5,000
came because of, first of all, peace, as the Honorable Betamongo was saying.
Gajja olw'emirembe egiriwo nga minisita w'abakozi Betty Amongin bw'agambye.
But on electricity.
Naye n'amasanyalaze okuteekebwa oba okutambuzibwa mu nkola entuufu.
Because you remember in 2005 when we had to take money from other sectors and put them in the roads and the electricity.
Mujjukira mu 2005 balina okujja ssente mu bifo ebirala ne babiteeka mu masanyalaze ne mu nguudo.
N'olwekyo mubagambe ababaka bammwe bano bemulonze baleme okuntawanya.
So tell your MPs not to disturb the president.
Bwendeeta okusosowaza nti tusosowaze kino byonna bikulu naye kusaawa eno twetaaga nnyo kino okusinga kiri.
If the president says we should prioritize this instead of the other, then you should follow.
Byonna bikulu naye
all are important,
naye ekitwetaaga kati kye kino.
But what is needed at this moment in time?
In 2005, after the mujjukira twalimu gye bayitanga load shedding.
Twalina kye twayitanga okuggyako amasanyalaze ne bagamba eno kwegali eno tegaliiko.
So after that election 2006,
okulonda bakwaga mu 2006,
nayita olukiiko lwa aba NRM ne bakkiriza okuteeka ssente mu masanyalaze n'enguudo.
He invited the NRM caucus and agreed to invest in roads and electricity.
Waliwo ebirala byali bitubanja ng'amazzi kintu kikulu.
There were other needs, for example water, because water is important.
Education.
Ebyenjigiriza.
Even health.
Ebyobulamu.
And others.
N'ebirala.
Naye bw'oba oyagala ebyenfuna bigaziye.
But if you want the economy to develop,
to grow, waliwo ebyetaagisa mangu bweba tebiriwo ebyenfuna tebigenda kugaziya.
There must be priorities, and in the absence of such, the economy won't develop, won't grow.
Okujja kw'eddembe ekitawanya ab'amakolero ekirala.
Apart from peace, what is disturbing the industrialists is power.
Transport costs.
Then you add transport costs oba ebisale ebyentambula. That's why government is now investing in the rail line, the train,
ebomba y'amafuta eyita wansi,
the pipeline, oil pipeline,
n'entambula ku nnyanja,
and water transport.
Kasi ebyo bibaawo ogenda kufuna ensasanya ntono ku masanyalazi n'ensasanya ntono ku ntambula.
Once those are in place, the costs of transport and electricity will be low.
N'olwekyo bamusiga nsimbi bagenda kwanguyirwa kubanga
Therefore, the investors will find this easy.
Netubasikiriza nti mujje kubanga amasanyalazi gali ku bbeeyi ya wansiko n'entambula nungi.
They will be lured into Uganda because power and the road transport or road network is fine.
Wadde amazzi gakyabula naye tegamala bulungi amazzi oba ebirala naye kati ye Musiga Nsimbi agenda maaso n'azimba ekkolero n'atandika okutuweereza emirimu n'okwongera ku bugagga bw'ensi yaffe.
Even if the water transport is not the best, but the
water for drinking
is not the best, but the investor can invest and then he starts reaping profits.
And the country n'ensi naye neganyulwa.
And the country benefits.
N'olwekyo ekigambo ekyo kati kyembasaba ebikulu nnyo biri nga bina.
Therefore, the president is requesting for 4 issues or items.
Ababaka bamwe ba parliament.
Your MPs.
Amasanyalazi.
Electricity.
Tulina okwongera kukola amabibiro nga Ayago.
The government is investing in building more dams like Ayago and others.
Chiba, Oryang.
And other power sources. They are working in tandem with Kenya to build an oil pipeline.
They
are also in collaboration with Kenya and Tanzania to build the SGR and water transport. They are working in unison. The East African countries. Once we get that,
UDB,
and we get money from Uganda Development Bank
for the investors, our local investors.
The
economy will grow.
We may not have done all, but once the economy grows, it will aid us to do what we've not done yet.
Kuludda lwa agriculture,
kuludda lw'ebyobulimi, PDM, Parish Development Model.
Tulina okulaba nti twongera ssente mu ntegeka eyo.
They are going to inject in more money.
Mukiwagire.
Mukyebaze, thank the president and the government for that. Please support that program.
Ate mu byalo byonna mu Amerika yonna mulabe nti amaka gayingira aganne gye gakolera gonna genyigira mu PDM.
And in all villages and parishes, ensure that everyone is involved in PDM.
Kubanga wetwatandikira Operation Wealth Creation.
Because at the time OWC was started,
myaka 2013,
in 2013,
abali bazize sente bali 68 ku buli 100.
People who had money were at 63.
Okuzira nti omuziro gwange sente nze setaga sente.
People who saw money as their totem were 63% out of 100.
Usanga yedira sente nze sente tizetaga.
Nga sente zimuwunyira zizi. They were not partners with cash.
Amaka 68 ku buli 100.
68 homes.
Bali bedira sente okongera ku muziro gyaffe olugave biki ebyo byaffe.
Could not afford money and it was almost their totem.
Bali wongeddeko omuziro gwa sente.
They had added it on to their local totems.
Sale n'atwala emwanyi n'abeegayirira banange munange tozira sente simba emwanyi zino nkwegayiridde.
General Sale took coffee to them and pleaded to them to grow coffee.
Abasirikale bonna eno bali ani ali eno emukono.
All the soldiers were involved, and the president is asking who was in charge of Mukono.
Who was in Mukono here? Operation Wealth Creation.
Who was in charge of OWC in Mukono? Afande Mato.
Kati abantu abambawuliriza.
So you should listen to those people.
Abantu abambawuliriza okuwa.
Some people listened.
Kati olaba omusajja waffe we Karamoja. Wali omusajja we Karamoja eri wala.
There is someone from Karamoja, far north.
In Abim district. My village here is called Arangetai West. Arangetai Parish, Abuk Town Council, Abim district. In Karamoja. The mango trees you are seeing here were given to me by the president through Operation Wealth Creation. I received 200 mango seedlings and I planted all, and they are all doing well. Apart from this venture, I got money from PDM last year. I got 880,000. And I used 800,000 for buying 10 goats. And the goats are there. They have multiplied. They are now 16. Part of the money of PDM I used for buying cassava stems. Through that money, I've managed to plant 2 acres of cassava. They are now doing well. The first acre I intend to harvest next year in January. Then for the mangoes, you are seeing, I started harvesting last year in 2023. The first harvest, I got 6 million. That was in June. Then second harvest in November, I got another 6 million. So last year, from these mangoes, I got 12 million shillings. I've been selling to the people around. Actually, Soroti Fruit Factory has booked this mango. They want me to take these mangoes tomorrow, 2025, to the factory. Actually, I've been selling locally. I've been selling 1 at 500 shillings, 2 1,000, and people are buying. These mangoes are very good. The mangoes trees you are seeing here are giving me money, a lot of money. And I want to thank His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Kaguta Museveni, for coming up with the idea of Operation Wealth Creation in the country. This is money. I am not going to suffer. My children will not suffer because of this wealth. I call it wealth now. I always invest. I don't invest mango. I invest money, not mangoes. So I want to thank our president so much. And next year, if all goes well, I expect to get 18 million first harvest. And then second harvest, I also expect to get 18 million next year, 2025. So altogether, I expect to get 36 million shillings. And this money I will use for...
That's a testimony from someone from Karamoja. He got 200 seedlings of mangoes and he planted them. He's now expecting 36 million per year.
from Operation Wealth Creation.
He got this from OWC.
Oluvanyumako nafuna za PDM nagula embuzi nazo zibala zaawo.
The balance he bought goats and he has showed them to you.
He got PDM money another time.
He is a beneficiary of PDM
also. Where he got money 1 million and bought goats.
He got an additional 1 million and he bought goats.
Kati bwana jeno mkono waliwo muwala yali eyo kumpine Nakisunga eyo njagala kulaba omwana.
When the president came to Mukono, he visited someone in Nakisunga.
We Mukono, let's see. The one of Mukono.
Amanya gange nze nampa Harriet nambeera Mangaliba district ya Mukono. Nafuna sente za PDM nasaba emitwalo 5 era ge bampa emitwalo 5 nagafuna nge ennaku z'omwezi 24 ogw'omukaaga 2023. Bwenfuna emitwalo gyange 5 nagula embizi 3. Embizi 3 nga zonna nkazi. Nazigula ku maama omu. Nazigula nga za myezi 2 buli mbizi emitwalo 10. Ye emitwalo 3. Ngula embizi emitwalo 3, emitwalo 2 nengula emmere. Nagula emmere eyo, embizi ezo nentandika okuzirunda. Natandika okuzirunda, naziriisangako ku muddo, amalagala, ebikuta n'enfumba. Nentambuza embizi ezo ne ziweza emyezi 8. Bwe zaawaka embizi yasooka nezaalira abaana 10. Ey'okubiri nezaala abaana 6. Ey'okusatu nezaala abaana 11. Be baana 27. Nefuna abaana 27. Bwenfuna abaana 27 nembalunda. Ne bakula ne baweza emyezi 2. Nenkwatako abaana 25 nembatunda. Nesigazaawo abaana 2, enkazi n'ennumi. Buli kyana nakitunda emitwalo 10. Nenfuna obukadde bwange 2 n'ekitundu. Bwenfuna obukadde bwange 2 n'ekitundu nasanyuka nnyo. Nenzijako akakadde kamu nenkatereka ku saving. Nesigaza akakadde kange kamu n'ekitundu. Bwensigaza akakadde kange kamu n'ekitundu nenkakozesa okuddamu okugula emmere, okuziriisa obulungi. Awo nfunye ku kasente neeyongeddemu. Nezitandika okulya ku mmere ennungi ddala. Era zaayanguwa okuddamu okusala. Neziddamu nezisala neziwaka. Bwe zaawaka embizi 3 eyasooka nezaala abaana 9, ey'okubiri nezaala 11, ey'okusatu nezaala abaana 10. Nefuna abaana 30. Bwefuna abaana 30 nali musanyufu nnyo nenyongeramu amaanyi. Embizi ezo nezirya bulungi era ne baziyonsa neziweza emyezi 2. Embizi eyo ey'okubiri abaana baayo baafunamu okuddukana. Baafunamu okuddukana, omusawo n'abajjanjaba naye abasatu baafa. Abasatu bwe bafa nensigaza abaana 27. Bwensigaza abaana 27 nentundako 25. Nensigazaawo abaana 2. Nenfuna obukadde bwange 2 n'ekitundu. Bwenfuna obukadde bwange 2 n'ekitundu nasanyuka nnyo. Nengenda nendeeta akakadde kange kali ke nasevinga ku lutu eyasooka. Nempeza obukadde bwange 3 n'ekitundu. Nenkwata ne maama omu nemutunda emitwalo 5. Namutunda emitwalo 5 nempeza obukadde 4. Bwempeza obukadde 4 nensanyuka nnyo era neŋŋamba ngenda kugula ku nte kuba pulezidenti ayagala tweyongere tugaziwe
kati
neŋŋenda
muwulidde obujulizi bwa omwana erinnya lye yani
That's the testimony of Nampa Harriet from
Nampa.
Nakisumu.
Muwulidde obujulizi bwa Nampa kyangamba kyatabagambye wano.
What Nampa told the president, which she hasn't said here,
yatya okukwata akakadde konna.
she had never owned $1 million shillings.
No, she feared.
She feared yatya okukwata akakadde. She feared owning $1 million shillings.
Kubanga ffe tugamba nti weewole akakadde konna.
Because the president says if you borrow $1 million shillings,
You should borrow, not less.
you should borrow not less than $1 million shillings.
Naye Nampa yagamba nti akakadde nkatya.
She feared borrowing $1 million shillings because she was scared of such an amount.
Yagamba nti wakiri mumpe $5,000.
So she opted for 500k.
But muwulidde obujulizi bwe.
And that's her testimony.
Mbanga tono yalina abayita abaana nayo
In a short while she had 25 piglets.
abaana b'abantu nze omulunyankole sobola kuyita
obwana bw'embizzi abugezezza ku baana b'abantu. You cannot compare piglets to children.
nandibawadde erinnya eddala.
The president would have given the piglets another name.
But naye muwulira kati ali mu bbanga tono $5,000 gye yeewola kati yali atandise okufuna obukadde 2,700.
In a very short time, from the 500,000 she borrowed, she was now owning 2.5 million.
Ate n'atereka n'agula ate kati yali atuuse ku miliyoni 4 wetumugiriddeeko awo.
She saved and reinvested, and at this point she had 4 million shillings.
N'olwekyo
Therefore,
kaweefube ono ow'okugoba okwebaka mu miruka.
this effort or struggle for erasing slumberness or sleeping in parishes
must continue and get rid of all lack of income in the villages.
kirina okugenda mu maaso tugobe obwavu mu byalo.
Buli muluka abakulembeze ba parliament mulina okumanya omuluka guno walumu amaka meka.
Each MP should know the number of homes in a parish
ameka gayingidde mu kugoba bwavu,
and how many homes are in the money economy
ameka gakyali mu kwebaka.
and how many are still slumbering.
We don't want tetwagala okubeerawo twogera bwogezi awatali bwino.
It shouldn't be a song, but there must be by numbers. Or
Now ebyebikwe wano ebyenyanja,
the issue of fish or fishery, fishing,
in buyikwe here
mu buyuko wano
n'ebitundu ebirala ebiri kumpi n'ennyanja.
and other parts of the country, lake shores,
Mulina okukkiriza
you've got to accept,
nti n'enamboole ejjula.
you've got to agree that even Nambole can be filled to capacity.
Emipiira bwejja,
If there is a match,
abantu baguza tiketi,
they sell tickets,
naye batuuka ku kiseera kugamba nti enamba eyitiridde tetukyakkiriza omuntu kuyingira.
but there comes a time and the organizers say we are no longer selling or issuing out tickets because we are overwhelmed by the numbers.
N'olwekyo omujjuzo ku nnyanja gulina okuba n'ekikomo.
Therefore, there must be a limit at the lake or the water bodies.
Abantu bameka abasobola kuvuba kyenkanawa,
How many people should be involved in the fishing industry?
and for how much, by how much.
era nga bali bameka bafuna mmeka
bavuba kyenkanawa
bavuba how much are they fishing or collecting from the water bodies?
So we can't go on with the buli ayagadde ali mu nyanja buli ayagadde ali mu nyanja.
It must be it should not be for everyone.
There must be ekikomo.
There must be a limit. Walina okubaawo ekikomo.
The army people are involved, Lieutenant General Kidiki is involved, abamaje babirimu.
The army is involved fully.
Naye mwena mulina okukimanya ng'abantu abategeera nti omujjuzo mu nyanja si mulungi.
But we should all know that the water bodies shouldn't be overwhelmed by numbers.
Kati ebyonna bye twogera,
now all this he is saying,
waliwo Katonda ebirabo byatuweereza.
God gave us some gifts or presents.
Ekimu ku byo mazzi n'entobazi n'ebisaalu.
One of them is the water or the water bodies and the swamps.
Bwe mbadde nzijja eno nsaaza abantu bali mu ntobazi.
When the president was coming to this function, he met people in swamps
bataddemu omuceere,
growing rice.
Ensi eringa omubiri gw'omuntu.
The country is like a human body.
Katonda yatonda nti omusaayi guyita mu miswa.
God made us in such a way that blood flows through the vessels, blood vessels.
Nti bw'oba olya emmere togiteeka mu kutu, togiteeka mu nnyindo, ogiteeka mu kamwa.
That once you are eating, or if you are eating, you should only put food in the mouth, not in the ears or nose.
You cannot say because I'm eating I food kubanga njagala kulya ntadde emmere ku matu.
You can't say that because you are so hungry you want to eat using the ears
or through the nose.
Oba mu nnyindo.
Ogenda kufa.
You are going to die.
N'olwekyo mbeegayiride bannange muleme okuwakanya.
Therefore the president is urging us not to resist
engeri Katonda gy'ategekamu ensi.
How God created the world.
Mu kitabo ky'olubereberye Bishop Kagoda ayinza kukibadiramu.
In Genesis the bishop can tell us.
Kirambikiddwa bulungi nti ensi yasooka n'ebeera n'ekizikiza.
That God created the dark world.
Oluvannyuma Katonda n'agamba nti ekizikiza kiveewo wabeewo omusana n'ekizikiza.
Then he created light alongside darkness.
Oluvannyuma n'agamba nti amazzi gabeere ku ludda lumu, olukalu lubeere ku ludda.
Then he created the water bodies and then the land.
Katugwa omukunja n'ogyo n'ogamba nti nedda Katonda yali mu nsobi.
So we as people from Buyukwe, we shouldn't say that God made a mistake.
N'odira amazzi n'ogafuula olukalu.
Encroaching on the water and making it land.
So nga waliwo enkozesa ennungi ey'entobazi.
Yet there are some profitable ways or methods you can use the swamps.
Kambalage abantu bange be elimoto.
So it's going to show you some people.
Bogera Lugwere.
Speaking Lugwere in Limoto, Palisa.
Amanya gange nzadde kusooka Majidu nga nze omubaka wa president mu kitundu kino. President bwe yansindika wano mu 2021 nasanga nga project eno eweddewo. Tasike yange yasooka nengamba president ayogera nnyo ku project eno naye ekiri wansi tekiriwo. Najja ano ng'awo wonna
waliwo omuceere. Twatulanga abakulembeze ne tugamba tulina okukyusa ekifo kino. Ekifo kino ekigendera kyakyo nti kitudde ku eka emu. Bwe natula n'abalimi ne bangamba baali bajjamu ensawo 6 ez'omuceere. Ensawo 6 ez'omuceere mitwalo nga 21 nga weesanga nga eri emiliyoni 1.3.
Ndi mulimi w'ebyenyanza. Naali ebiseera ebyasingira obungi naali ndi mulimi wa muceere omusa. Naye ng'ekiseera kyemala omwiga omwo nga nimo muceere kyali kiseera nga kiwanvu. Era nga n'amaani agenkozesa omwiga omwo gaali maani nga mangi nga ntwale abaana bange tufuduukira omwo n'omwami wange ntwala tufuduukira omunyera omwo naye nga tukozesa maani mangi n'obulamu wona nga tumalira mu mwiga omwo naye nga n'enfuna gye tufuna mu katono kubanga yakwawo omwiga omwo oluisi n'olima olinza okulima eka zooti 5 6 naye ng'okwakufuna mu liso ova munakansawo kamako muceere oluisi ofunire ino nokotera onfunireko bunsawo 2 ate ng'ekiseera kyemala olwo nga n'okufuna emmere ey'eika mba tinafune kuba ekiseera kyo njena mba nkimalira mu mwiga. Awo nino ebalyo Baba Museveni, His Excellency the President wa Uganda. Obaba yebala okutukulaakulanya era yebala okututoola omukuwonaawona. Naiza natuwa a project eno y'okuliisya ebyenyanza.
What we have now here is a 1 acre model. If you combine all these 8 ponds, you make 1 acre. This 1 acre model has 72 farmers on this farm. As government, our goal here is 3 things. 1, we now have achieved the restoration of the wetland. But key, we are teaching the farmers the fish farming technology, how to grow fish. And the farmers, I cannot tell you, like you have talked to them, they now know how to grow fish.
Nga sinalima byennyanja nali ndi mu muceere nga ndima muceere mu kibali nga fe abamu ku bantu abawonoone obutonde naye nga tetulina alternative endala akuba twali tunoonya survival. So we twajja mu kulima ebyennyanja ne tulaba nga changes enkyukakyuka nene eriwo ne tufokasinga okulima ebyennyanja era tulina achievements gye tufunyeemu.
Ebyenyanza tubirunda ebbanga ly'emyezi 8 ku 7 kisinzirira beriire bitya bikulire bitya kuba ebyenyanza oteekamu after 2 months olina okusampolinga nowona muli mu gulamu imeka teni tete mweyongera kasa mutuukya 700 grams ekitegeeza nti babituukira okulaniki okutunda oyinza okwagirya nga ekyenyanza kigeizere omyezi 6 tikigaana okukitunda olwa okusalako kosti yaki yemmere kuba emmere buli gyakoma okukula gyakoma okulya eniki okulya emmere.
We have introduced the chicken offals, which is very, very cheap. We buy 1 kilo of chicken offals from buyers at just 500 shillings. And every day we feed 40 kilos. That means it's just 20,000 shillings feeding. That means it is helping us to cut the production cost by over 35%.
Season yasookere 2022 twasitookingire male emitwalo 4 ne 2028 then tubane cages jabare 10 nga buli cage erimu engege tilapia 2025 jali emitwalo 2 ena mu male twasobola okufuna emiliyoni 5.6 emale twafuna emiliyoni 5.6 then engege tugifuna emiliyoni 10 ni emiliyoni 6.6 twafunire mu season yasookere. Season eyo twateekeremu emiliyoni 2.6 ekitegeeza nti twafuna emiliyoni 4 tufuna emiliyoni 6.6 twasoboire okugawula mu beneficiaries tugawulako emiliyoni 4.3 then emiliyoni 2.3
kati muwulira obujulizi bw'abantu abo.
That's the testimony of those people.
Omuceere gwe mulimamu gwe mukozesa okwonoona obutonde bw'ensi,
the rice you are using to degrade the environment,
guva mu katono.
the earnings are minimal.
N'olwekyo entegeka yange gye njagala muwagire,
therefore what the president is urging us to support,
waliwo wosobola okuteeka ebidiba by'ebyennyanja ku lubalama lw'olutobazi, si wakati naye ku bbalibbali.
you can put fish ponds alongside the wetland but not in the middle of the wetland.
So olutobazi luddewo,
so you preserve the wetland,
but you get fish ponds on the periphery,
naye ne muteeka ebidiba by'ebyennyanja ku bbali,
and then you get much more money. As you hear, they are talking of 56 million, 60 something per buli yika.
ne mufuna ssente nnyingi, mubawulidde nga bagamba miliyoni 5 okuva mu buli yiika.
So nga luli bali bafuna miliyoni nga 2 nga mu kifo kyekimu.
Yet they were earning only 2 million from the same area, 1 acre.
So n'olwekyo tulina okuzukuka, tulina okukola ebyekikaafiiri.
Therefore we have to wake up and roll our sleeves up.
Tulina okukola ebyekikaafiiri.
We shouldn't do unreligious things nga tusinziira ku butamanya. Your Excellency, I have just been informed by the Minister, Ms. Diana Mutasingwa, that you instructed her to form a circle for people who are coming out of the wetlands,
yes,
and then they start fish ponds. She has ably organized them.
Tugenda kubawagira byetagamu sente ebidiba ebyo, tugenda kubayamba.
So tweyanziza. The President is going to invest money. Please katumukubire mu ngalo naddala abalimi abe.
Ate waliwo ebitawaanya ebyennyanja, waliwo emisota giyingiramu, ebikere nabyo birya ebyennyanja, naye tugenda kubirwanyisa, byonna tulina eddagala lyabyo.
So the President is going to aid us not only in starting fish ponds, but also to fight the problems that affect fish farming.
Bangambye nti bw'osimbako amabaati n'ogasimba bw'oti nigeetooloola ekidiba, emisota tegisobola kuyitawo.
He has been reliably informed that if you put a fence of iron sheets around the pond, the snakes can't enter.
And then you put akatimba ku mutwe,
and you put a net on top.
Ebikere ebiyinza kubuuka ne biyingiramu ne birya ebyennyanja byaffe.
You shall have dealt away with the frogs which may affect your fish pond.
We are going to start, especially, I will start in a small way this year, but next financial year we shall, because this year we had to put a lot of money in AFCON and all those things, but next year fish farming will be a priority.
President agenda tutandika mpola mpola omwaka guno, kubanga sente ezisinga zitadde mu mipiira mu tournament y'okutegeka emipiira gya Africa, naye omwaka ogujja agenda kwongeramu sente nnyingi. Your Excellency, naddala mu buyuuko wano.
Very good.
Much obliged.
N'olwekyo njagala kubeebaza.
So the President is thanking you, is grateful.
The Exembayo,
the last
aba NSSF,
bebe kitavu kya sente z'abakozi.
Abasajja abo bagagga balina sente nyingi.
Those people are endowed with a lot of money,
naye baziteeka mu bintu ebitazaala.
But they are investing it in non-profitable investments.
By NSSF.
Oluguudo olwo nga bannannyini kitavu kya ssente be bannannyini lwo, kitegeeza muba musolooza buli mmotoka eyitako.
Kati ffe gavumenti eyinza kugenda mu maaso ekola enguudo zaayo nga eno egy'empiseemu ey'abakunja.
The government will now embark on making roads like this one which brought him here.
But the bagagga who don't have time to waste, bagenda kozesa esente enguudo yamwe ey'okusolooza sente.
But the bourgeoisies can use the other road where they have to pay.
tubadde tugezako okuzimba enguudo ey'okusoloza ssente okuva Kampala okugenda Jinja kuba n'ebbanga ddene tukozesa abeeno naye mwandisobodde okukitunulamu mwe aba NSSF.
The president is trying to put up roads of that nature, but is encouraging NSSF to come on board and build such roads.
NRM oye abakunja.
NRM oye.
Kuruno mwalonze bulungi.
Hope you voted well.
Kale Katonda abayambe abasasire ensobezi edda.
Your Excellency, there was an issue of Nkoyoyo boarding primary school raised by Honorable Minister for Labour.
Ngenda kologana naba education tuyambe somero lino.
Much obliged, Your Excellency.
If the PS is here, the minister is here, they can note it that we help this school here.
Omuwandiisi w'enkalakkalira owa ministry ya ebyenjigiriza President asabye nti ensonga ya Nkoyoyo boarding primary school ogiteeke ku mwanjo mugiyambeko.
NRM oye.
N'oluguudo lwe
Katonda ababeere.
Mwebale nnyo Your Excellency Amusaalongo Richard Senteza MP Lugazi Municipality. I thank you for this opportunity.
Bananga obugalo abakuja muzeeyi abazzeemu byonna n'abituyigirizamu byonna bye tugenda okutukolera. Akalulu kaliwa?
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. We're going to invite the Masters of Ceremony for the Chancery. But as he's coming here, I want to also recognize the presence of some ministers. We didn't mention them. Honorable Minister Oboth Jacob, Honorable Minister John Sim Muhingo, Honorable Minister Mulili Wilson Mukasa, Professor Epian Kamuntu, the workers MPs. We have Arinaito Rakajara, please wave at the President, Agnes Kunihira, Margaret, and then also MP-elect Birunji Annette. Members of the Public Service Commission who are here, please, you're most welcome. Education, Health, Judicial Commission. We have the permanent secretaries from different MDAs who came here. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. Members of the Diplomatic Corps. We have the NRM Chairman, Buyuke District, please. Thank you so much, NRM Chairman. And then we have the Mayor, Njeru Municipality. The exhibitors, Mubireko Mzei, Abazukulu. Mzee was not able to pass by your tent. The workers, Mubireko Kumzei, the workers. Norunakula mwe. Muri bulungi. Special request, Your Excellency, my class teacher, Mr. Takaisa, he's also here. He taught me in this school. And then the head teacher of Nkoyoyo, who are here, and the bishop. Photo for the school in the future so that more girls can educate themselves and they'll be our future leaders. I thank you so much. Thank you so much. Where is he? You're taking off. Masters of Ceremony.
Your Excellency the President, all distinguished guests, on today's auspicious occasion of celebrating International Labour Day anniversary, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda is pleased to recognize deserving citizens of Uganda and other persons by award of medals of honor. To make presentation of the 50 beneficiaries is I, Brigadier General Richard Kademere, the Master of Ceremony for the Chancery. Now, therefore, in accordance with Section 3 of the National Honors and Awards Act 2001 as amended, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda has approved the award of medals to 50 persons, among whom 11 are female, during this year's celebrations. The medals are in the categories of the Masaba Star Medal, the Distinguished Order of the Crested Crane, the Centenary Medal of Police, Honorary Medal of Police, Long Service with Good Conduct Gold Police, the Royal Triangle, and the National Independence 60th Diamond Jubilee Anniversary Medal. The names of the 50 awardees were duly considered by the Presidential Awards Committee, comprising of 9 eminent persons, with Honorable Beatrice Wabdea as chairperson and Hajat Zamina Malori as secretary, under the aegis of the Minister for Presidency, Honorable Mire Babiri Bawaranda. The awardees of Masaba Star Medal are Brigadier General Paul Wanyera Namawa, the Chief of Staff of the Special Forces Command. General Namawa has made significant contributions to national and regional security. Internationally, he oversaw the transition and handover of Mogadishu Stadium from UPDF, the AMISOM, to the Somali National Army and federal government in 2018, while simultaneously establishing a new Special Forces component base at Al Jazeera. The second awardee is Brigadier General Ernest Nwagaba. Brigadier General Nwagaba is the commander of headquarters Uganda Rapid Deployment Capability. He has been instrumental in advancing regional security interventions, improving UPDF readiness, and promoting peace-building initiatives. The Distinguished Order of the Crested Crane is awarded to Mr. Ani Prajith from India. As Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Prajith has driven sustainable and compliant business growth, introduced innovative healthcare technologies into Uganda, strengthened pharmaceutical supply chain standards, and built local capacity within the healthcare ecosystem. The National Independence 60th Diamond Jubilee Anniversary is awarded to the following distinguished people in recognition of their outstanding services and loyalty. The 41 duly approved awardees are Engineer Dr. Charles Wana Etem from Lira District, Professor Makwari Jackson from Bulisa District, Engineer Okror James from Soroti District, Engineer Dr. Gwang Joffrey from Kwale District.
Sorry to interrupt you, Brigadier Karemire. Waroshenera midday. Translate MP. Abada tuyamba adea achuse.
The president had forgotten something. The war on wetlands. To save the wetlands. It's not only for making you get some money, but saving you from growing rice.
By going to rear fish.
So you're going to fish farming. But also, once the wetland gets back its natural form, the water, that water can be used for irrigation, irrigating plants which are grown upland.
ekiri mu kufukirira Bushenyi.
So the president is going to show us an irrigation scheme in Bushenyi. Technicians, please.
This is where our model plantation is. Plantation which you've had, we've already gone beyond 50 tons of yield per hectare per year. Matoke is very important part is water, but especially in the dry season. So here we are using irrigation, drip irrigation, as you can really see, using water, especially in the dry season. Drip irrigation, the advantage with it is that it sends water where it is required. It does not depend on national water. We make our own water, which we pump every day. 90% of the water is used for irrigation, and the other 10% is processed for use in pilot plant and estate residential areas. This farm, as per NEMA allows us to use a third of the water flow. But in the dry season, we even just use 12% of the water flow. So there is still enough water which we can pump. We've already finished the feasibility study to distribute the same irrigation water to the farmers, mainly along the water pipeline. So the structures you are seeing here are mainly to do primary filtration of the water. You have seen the color of the water through that aeration. It's our water in the western region is full of iron. So we always reduce the iron content by passing it through the air. Each of these pumps 40 cubic meters per hour, and it has a lift height of 140 meters. That's why we are pumping it 110 meters from here. Where we are standing is 110 meters below the reservoir where to bring it pump. You see these ready tanks. Those ready tanks are full of sand. To again continue the filtration of the water. We are using drip system, which uses very, very fine water. We should not be having any floating particles to block the system. Many people, when they hear His Excellency talking about 53 tons, people wonder if that's possible or not. You'll be able to see the size of the branches, the plantation, how it looks like, and how it is irrigated. Each of these plants loses about 20 liters every day through evaporation. So in other words, you have to replace 20 liters to maintain our stools, 3 plants per stool, but not just 3 plants. Mother, daughter.
Abanyankole abetoloddawo.
People from
Abanyankole abetoloddawo.
People from Ankole and around there.
Bobakungula tons 5 buli hectare z'amatooke.
Harvest 5 tons of matoke. Ranga.
Kulw'okufukirira.
Through irrigation.
And okozesa ebigimusa.
And using manure or fertilizers.
Ffe tukungula tons 53.
They harvest 53 tons.
Abanyankole bali abaliraanwa baffe bali ku tons 5, ffe tuli ku 53.
The neighboring Ankole people are getting 5 tons, but the government farm is getting 57 tons. 53 tons. They multiply by 10.
Kati kyemukola wano kiseera akozesa ekisaalu nekiseera akozesa olukalu.
So what we do here impinges on what we do here in the way. Both of them are affected. Bonna baseerwa tebafunamu nga bwe balina kufunamu.
Olutobazi afuna katono.
The person cultivating in the wetland gets minimal. So his cure is that both people using the wetland and upland should benefit maximally. Even the people using the upland should use irrigation to benefit maximally. And our people from the east are very bright. Basoga are very bright. They've taught us
long ago.
They taught us long ago, but some sadda. You shouldn't waste time. The Baganda and the Banyankole are wasting time waiting for rain. They say enkuba nkuba. Abanyankole bachita enjura, they call it rain, as well as Baganda bachita nkuba.
Kati amazi bwegabera ku butaka abaganda bagwita omukoka, abanyankole bagwita omutunga.
Once there is water running on the surface or erosion, abaganda bagayita mukoka, then the Banyankole call it that one.
Ate abanyankole bongeramu ebirala enkuba bwejja nyingi bagiwa erinnya lyayo, entono bagiwa ekigambo erinnya eddala.
There are lots of words the Banyankole use when it's raining heavily, and then when it's light, spicing up all that process. But the Basoga use one word, it's all water. Rain is water. Running water, erosion is water.
So the Basoga are more correct.
Abasoga be batuufu. Oba batuufu nnyo okusinga bali abalala. Therefore,
twetaaga amaadhi agafukirira.
We need water for irrigation.
Twetaaga amaadhi gona tugetaagira ddala gona.
We need all that water.
Kibumba abakuume.
Mukama abakuume, God bless you.
Kangende kugawa emidali.
Permission to continue, Your Excellency.
Okay. Go ahead. Read your people.
Mr. Kamuntu Gilbert Muzahura of Shama District, Mr. Secretary from Shama District, Mr. Habomuchisha John Bosco from Kisa District, Mr. Seburiba Dyson from Chankwanzi District, Mr. Bong Luke Jackson from Nakapiripirit, Reverend Colonel Romongen from Nabiratuk, Mr. Luke Lokuda Lokui Lokolime from Napak, Mr. Terpecho Dorothy from Toro District, Mr. Fazira Kauma, Bugweri District, Ms. Namorondo Birabwa, Kayunga District, Dr. Wakazerwe Naboth, Tungamo District, Ms. Airo Eseza from Amoria District, Mr. Tagwera Dominic, Kabari District, Ms. Mona Muguma Sebliba, Kampala District, Mr. Simon Have from the Republic of South Africa, Mrs. Mwijuka Jessica from Barara District, Mr. Bahemuka Julius, Hoima District, Mr. Chaine Paul, Wakiso District, Reverend Professor John Mulindwa Kitayimbwa, Wakiso District, Ms. Nafuna Silvia from Silonko District. Ms. Miriam Birakwate Kazo District, Mr. Buyenza George, Butembo District, Dr. Benon Ruja, Gomba District, Mr. Nigo Muhammad from Buikwe District, late Dr. Iamlemia Emmanuel Nibiga from Kisoro, awarded posthumously, Mr. Turai Kayo Henry from Kitagwenda District, Mr. Sevaru Jamil Chijambu from Wakiso District, Mr. Kalisa Karim from Mutungama District, Reverend Father Babanyisa Rabon Francis, Chanjeje District, late Mr. Bihanyanji Eric from Kanungu, awarded posthumously. Then RA 14547, Warrant Officer Rueja Enoch from Gomba District, Warrant Officer 2, Apia Deborah from Lera District, Mr. Ariko Wilson, Principal Officer from Serere District, Mr. Oran Moses, Principal Officer from Apache District, Mr. Nyadru Richard, Principal Officer from Moyo District, Mr. Omara John Kennedy from Dokoro District, and Ms. Barunji Rebecca, Chief Wardress 3 from Hoima District. The award of the Honorary Medal Police has been awarded to the following: Mr. Omar Isaac from Amortar District and Mr. Alede Stephen from Lira District. The Centenary Medal has been awarded to Assistant Superintendent Biambara Eric from Rukunjiri. The award of long service, 30 years plus. The medal is awarded to officers and civilian staff of the Uganda Police Force for long service with a clean record and uninterrupted service. The approved officers for this medal are ASP Knight Dina Mperwe from Masini District and ASP Manano Philip Albert from Nebi District. The award of the Royal Triangle Medal. And Part 2 of the second schedule, as read together with Section 14 of the National Honors and Awards Act, the Royal Triangle Medal is conferred upon any person, whether military or civilian, who participated in the liberation struggle or rendered direct support to armed freedom fighters. The one officer approved for this medal is Resistance Officer 04756, Major Retired Sam Kaziro from Chivoga District. This marks the end of this short ceremony, and once again, congratulations to all those that have been awarded. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director of Ceremonies. For centuries, ladies and gentlemen, we want to congratulate, join the rest of the country to congratulate our medalists of 1st of May 2026 of this Labor Day. On reverse departure plan, we shall have His Excellency to leave first. It will be followed by the Vice President, the CJ, the Third Deputy Prime Minister, the Minister for Presidency, the CDF, IGP, Deputy Commissioners of Prison, in that order. Anthem. His Excellency, I still insist I will take a picture with you after. Thank you. With my teachers. Anthems, please, in reverse order. Security.
I can see protocol. The protocol is like they don't want your request.
They don't want.
TV. Your window to the world. Liberty TV.
Western Uganda, at the foots of mighty Mount Rwenzururu, lies a land blessed with beauty and life, where rivers flow, nature thrives, and culture lives strong. From this proud land of Kasese district, a voice rises to tell our stories, to connect our people, and to share our world, bringing you news, culture and entertainment from Kasese district and beyond. Liberty TV broadcasting live from Kasese district, your window to the world.
Are you looking for a better place to provide you with a good accommodation? Peace World Social Center. Peace World Social Center is the only place for you to have fun. Peace World Social Center is located in Kizungu Cell, Nyamwamba Division, Kasese Municipality. It offers services like accommodation for visitors, shows like football and music shows, free bathing, cold drinks in all types, good bedrooms for you to have rest, workshops and meeting arenas. Find Peace World Social Center in Kizungu Cell, Nyamwamba Division, Kasese Municipality.
Life moves fast. Do you have a special event coming up? G Events Africa, we make your moments unforgettable. We do live streaming of functions, photography and videography, graphic designing. We have the best event MCs to keep your function lively. We do wedding shoots and capture every smile. And don't forget, we host the funniest comedy night in Kasese Municipality, commonly known as the Lakunja. Find us in Kasese Municipality, or for more information call on 0787 237987. G Events Africa, your event, our passion.